So we created previously the terrain maps inside the world machine, and right now we can start working inside the view to create the terrain from those maps. I'm going to create a standard terrain. Let me reposition. Next, what I want to do for this terrain is switch the size, and I'm going to add 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers. It was set in our map, and again I will say 2600 meters. Again, this is not necessarily what you may be using. This is just help to similar scale what we had inside World Machine. You can always adjust, you can manually resize and whatever you think it will fit better your project. Okay, let's go ahead, edit object. Right here, our mountain, I'm going to make it flat, and before actually I'm loading, I want to go and take and increase our resolution to what image was set 2048 by 2048. If we do this after, the view will scale up inside without using image as a reference. So we want to actually be sure our terrain resolution on the standard terrain is set correctly before we're loading image. So we'll go ahead and preload it, and right here I have an image of the lake, the mountain kind of. We'll go increase all the way, and we can preview, and if you think this is a little bit too high, okay, right here we have our terrain, which I think it is a little bit too high set. We'll say okay, and most likely I just set wrong. See, right here it says 4 kilometers, so actually I want to set to 2 kilometers for this. Okay, just a little mistype, but again you can see how easy it's change with this scale. Change scale on this level won't change resolution of the terrain, so you can, when you have your resolution set inside the terrain editor, that is resolution per pixels. Okay, when we set resolutions on a size, it is a resolution inside the view of the object. Okay, so let's go ahead and select the camera. I'm just want to see from this point of view. We'll go up, and let's bring a little bit down. Just overall right now I want to kind of almost overview our terrain from above, so when we start working on materials we can properly apply those materials. Also, let me take sun, just maybe position so we can see a little bit better on terrain. Okay, I think this will give it a little bit brighter point. Okay, let me go ahead and preview. So you can see we have a nice preset right now. So next, what I want to do it is apply first generic color to my mountain, and I'm going to select just default map. We'll click OK. Let's open material editor, and this is just simple with a fractal spreading kind of green stuff around. We can keep this, or actually to better see our materials I will just switch to single. And for this one we can apply just world standard for the base because it's won't affect other materials. Maybe not, just a bit darker. Okay, we also can change scale at this moment, so we can make it a little bit smaller. Okay, let's preview. And right here our generic terrain preset. Let me go check at the one. A little bit better, so I will leave it just at 1. The next I want to start applying different layers of the materials. The first, let's go ahead and create maybe some sand look for our deposits kind of going down. So I'm going to select soft dunes. Same again, simple materials, because I just want to use it only one layer for this. Okay, and I'm going to be sure it's set to object parametric for this. You notice how we have very huge pixelizations. So we can do things. One, I want to be sure my scale is set lower, and a bump maps. For this one, actually, I want to remove them, and I want add, or you can replace it. So when you add, it will take one below. In rocks have some texture, and this, remember, it's a world standard. So if I apply these ones, the same texture will go up. So I want bump map. I want to keep it this one as well. If you think it is subscale maybe too high, we can always decrease that way. Okay, let's go to transparency and a global transparency. Actually, you know what, let me, okay, we'll go use it, variable transparency. Variable transparency will provide us with a little bit more details and manipulation. So we go select, and want to select the flow map for this. We'll click OK. Before I apply flow, you can preview it actually applying to the value of the transparency. So we want to reverse this one. In that case, you can see we have it now flow very nicely applied, going around right areas. Okay, be sure your interpolation type set at least binary or more. This will remove some of those kind of square or pixels looking when you start working on this. Okay, let's click OK. And if you remember before, I applied image map, so I applied a little bit contrast to this. I don't need modify any additional contrast or bring this higher. If you do want add, you can always add a filter, and it can pop up a little bit higher contrast here, actually this way, so you can add a little bit more. But because I done in World Machine this, I don't need to do, so I click OK. And of course you can apply overall alpha boost on this, so you can make sure it's look a little bit more natural going inside. Okay, let's go ahead, create next one, and next we can have it deposits as example. So we can take like stone rubble. Let's click OK. And right here we want to be sure it's object parametric set. Let's set scale to 1. You notice how big increasing size. So again, I want to reset my bumps to 0 for this. We can modify bumps as well higher, but and I want to actually create this one much smaller, so you can change scale slightly. Preview right here, you can see our scale, and actually those rubbles kind of block here look very nice. Okay, let's go to edit right here function. Because it's image based, again I need to be sure my scale everywhere set properly. Okay, also let's go inside the environment, and I notice the environment is changed, so I want actually this set all the way 100% to everything, because I don't want to control this by environment. I want this control by my transparency, by my map. So for that one, we'll go create another map, and let's go this one. Actually, we have it several. We have it deposits, and we have it where. So let's go to open here, and again remember it will be where's the blacks on the back, and I want to inverse this. is applied on the top, which is kind of nicely added. We'll set this to binary again, click OK, and I want to take this below the sand, so I want my deposit go a little bit over. Okay, and I'll just bring this just slightly down so it's blend more naturally together. But here you can see we add on top, we have our darker ones. Okay, we have our kind of where the deposit go on right side, it's going down, and okay, let's add another ones. So we can go to all these maps and add one map at a time. You don't necessarily need to use all of them, but I'm going to use most of them so we can see what each map will do. The other things what I want to do is add kind of on the bottom where this lake was or a beach, and then one thing I want maybe use even you know what, let's use the rocks, this one. Okay, I'll go bring this up on top, and we'll use this one maybe for some wares effect. Again, 0, 1. I want to be sure it's world parametric again set. Okay, let's set bumps to 0. Okay, let's go to environment, it's fine. We'll go to transparency, enable variable transparency, open, and we're using this one, if I'm right, deposits for this. Okay, click OK, and you can see the deposits again. We need inverse because it's go on top. Okay, and we have where on top, not deposits, so we'll click right here, enable, and it's going very nicely right on the bottom again. Because top, I want to bring this down actually right around here. Of course, these deposits, we need them kind of match with flow because what happened when it's going down. So I'll go to our map and just slightly readjusting colors. Okay, so next what I want to do it is actually add material like on a beach. So we'll go to select terrain again, go in editor. Let's create new, but also different. I'm going to just create one from scratch instead using. So I'm just using red one. Color so we can kind of preview, it's easy. Go to transparency. Okay, again variable transparency, edit. Okay, actually before we do this, let's be sure we're in object parametric. Okay, so we can preview. I'm going to add again image. We'll go select color, click OK, and let's go to inverse. So you can see right here it's kind of positioned on the bottom, which way I want it. Okay, we'll be sure we set this to binary, and we can also set once. It doesn't really need it, but it will help. So right here we have our color set. The one thing I want to actually modify to apply maybe some different type of the coloring, and we can always add purlin, reduce, and just make even more noisy kind of to this. Okay, we'll click OK, and I also will go and decrease this kind of a little bit more down. Right here you can preview, so we have it effect apply, and I want to leave it this a little bit actually on top above because we'll have it water going, but you can see we have it nice beautiful material layouts already. So we'll take our camera, let's switch to the top view. You can see right here we have a nice applied with the sand from the beach, so we can easy going and apply now water. So here's interesting things we can apply, and I found out we can apply over all layer of the water this way. But if we're going increase, you'll notice we have it on the back right, apply this way. So instead using this, I'm just going to use a simple cube. I'm going to stretch this cube 2 feet just under here, and we'll just bring this slightly up. So you notice I can almost go very high on this lake without going over, so you can build almost like above your line. So, and I'm just readjust maybe this area. We're going to liquids, meta waves, select on water, take my camera, move even a little bit out to preview, and you can see right here we end water, but we can set up. On this case, if we add anything on the back, you don't need to worry about the water extend too much, so you can see we just added directly to this area. So let me go bring positioning. Okay, I'm going to set final render, just pop up a little bit more in resolution. As well, we can just for this test we can go to the lighting and set up kind of a little bit better lighting here. Okay, we can also just slightly increase small effects, click OK. And I'm just going to turn off everything what we don't need it. And in atmosphere editor, you know, maybe this is a little bit too much, actually, because I'm just want to see more clear our deposited materials. What I'm going to do right here, let's go take our sunlight, and we'll just add very small shadows. So those shadows should give us better perspective on some of this lining that we have it. Okay, so I'm going to render this terrain will preview, and I'm going to pause tutorial right now and come back when render is completed. So right here we have our image done. It's looking very nice. So let's go ahead and render one more and take water down so we can see this deposit a bit more on the bottom. Okay, we're going to take this cube and bring it quite a bit down, maybe around right here. Yeah, so we have this little bit kind of like red deposit. Can see there on the sides right there. Okay, we can take a sun right now. Just add a little bit sharper shadows. Again, take main camera, and one thing I want to point just slightly down so we can see right here where it's kind of water almost drying rendering, but I want to see this, so we don't lose some of this redness kind of, but we'll give it effect. Okay, there you go. Again, I'm going to render one more time to preview with a little bit more materials. Pause tutorials and come back when it's done rendering. Okay, so right here we have our final image. You can see we have our terrain with properly applied materials that will bring extra details to your render inside the view. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please remember visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.